Does hook size on soft plastics really make a difference? Ready, running guns, time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Truck talk of the day. Would it be? Would it be? Would it be? Hook size. I see guys on the circuit when they're showing rigs, whether it's on YouTube or you happen to catch it during a tournament, they've got these huge freaking EWG hooks on this little tiny piece of plastic. Now I'm starting thinking to myself, did you ever go to basic school and learn how to size hooks? I like just a big enough hook to do the job. Because I don't want the soft plastic being weighed down by a heavy hook. And I also want to give that thing the most action I can give it. Good example. For years, I fished a 5-inch Senko with a 4/0 EWG Superline. For years. And caught a lot of fish. And then one day, just for poops and giggles, I took a number 2. I mean, not a number 2. I don't mean that. I mean, get your mind out of the gutter, man. Seriously. Get your head out of the toilet. I meant number 2 EWG. And man, let me tell you what. The bite size is still there. But man, you really get a lot more wiggle out of that Senko. I'm talking about the original Senko. But you're getting a lot more wiggle out of that Senko than I ever did with a 4/0. So guess what I've gone to? I'm using a 2/0 with the Senko now. Another example, a 6-inch worm. Just a standard 6-inch worm. Whether it's curl tail, ribbon tail, straight tail, doesn't matter. A 1 or 2/0 straight shank hook. Most of your hooks, most of your straight shank hooks, I'm going to run probably 2/0. But let's take the owner straight shank wide gap hook, and now you can get away with a size 1/0 because it's about the same size as a 2/0, and it definitely helps with that wider gap. 8-inch worms, 7, 8-inch. 7-inch, I usually use about a 3/0 straight shank. 8-inch, usually about a 4/0 straight shank. But just remember, companies run different sizes majority of the time. If you're like me and you like an owner wide gap straight shank, now that hook's going to run bigger. I mean, you take a 3/0 in that hook, and it's about the size of a 5/0 Gamakatsu. Or even a 4/0 owner is even more like a 5/0. Each company's going to have its own thing. And it's sad that not a lot of companies make a straight shank worm hook. The two off the top of my head is Gamakatsu and owner. Eagle Claw made them for years, and I think they might have quit making them. And the reason I say that they probably quit making them is because Trocar is big into making the flipping hooks, which is also a straight shank, but it's got a big bite. A shorter shank, but a big bite. And because of that, since I guess you could say that Trocar is probably the first to make that kind of hook, that's probably where their sales are. So yeah, they probably just quit making a regular straight shank hook. Funny story behind that Trocar. I'll make this quick. I think you guys will enjoy this. I was at Sportsman's Warehouse, which is our local box store. Rarely do I ever go in there, but I was in there one day. And I was looking at some Eagle Claws. And there was a guy standing there at because he had the Gamatsus, the Eagle Claws owners, mustads, everything was in one section. And this guy was asking me, he goes, "You like them Eagle Claws?" I said, "Well, it depends. It depends on what I'm looking for in a hook." I said, "But yeah, I got a lot of Eagle Claws and stuff." I said, "You might have to sharpen them once in a while." I said, "But they hold an edge, and I've never had a problem with them. You definitely save a lot of money because they don't cost as much." And this guy says, I think Eagle Claw is junk." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion." And he says, "Well, I only use Trocar." And I didn't, the red flag. I looked at him, I said, "Dude, have you read the back of the package?" And he kind of flipped it over. I said, "Does it say right in McGill?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "That's Eagle Claw. Eagle Claw makes Trocar." Oh my gosh, you should have seen the look on this guy's face. He had the same kind of face if he told a Democrat we actually had a good economy. And anyway. I figured y'all enjoy that little story. But anyway, yeah, size does matter on a hook because you don't want to overpower a soft plastic. Same thing with you're throwing a Carolina rig. You want to throw a light wire hook. The reason is it penetrates quicker, but number two, it's not going to weigh that worm down. And you definitely don't want to oversize the hook. Give that soft plastic all the room it needs to move. And you can't do that by using a gigantic hook. Because I want to make sure I get that sucker in there and that thing grabs that bass when he hits it. It's the bite of the hook. It's not the size of the hook. It's the bite of the hook. Remember that. That is so important. And I never hear anybody talk about this on YouTube. It's not the 3/0, the 4/0, the 5/0, the 7/0. It's not that. It's the bite of the hook. If you don't have at least double the diameter of that worm, if you lay the worm just under the point of the hook, and as it comes around, if you don't at least have a double distance, that bite's probably not going to be big enough. You either need to find a different style hook or maybe go to a bigger size, which if you go to a bigger size, then you're going against what I'm trying to say here. Well, I don't mean go against, but you know what I mean. You guys are smart enough. You know what I mean. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vernon? But I see guys on YouTube, you're showing these rigs and these gigantic hooks. I'm like, why? You're killing the bait. Stop doing that. Same thing with the D-bomb. Missile baits D-bomb. My flipping hook is a 3/0. My swing jig hook is a 3/0. Because it's not so much the flappers you want moving. I want some of that body moving with it too. And I think it gets better action with that smaller hook, but I've got plenty of bite. So just keep your eyes open on that, guys. Don't get too crazy with these gigantic hooks. It's the bite you have to worry about. Remember, keep that bait under the point of the hook, and then make sure you have double the size of that soft plastic to the back of that shank of the hook. If it's less than that, you might have a hard time hooking that fish because you don't have enough hook to come through the soft plastic. Gotta have at least double. So anyway, what do you guys think? So until next time, remember, new techniques are trendy, but bass never change. May the Father bless you, keep in Yeshua's name, and as always, fish on.